If you have to cut your mom off, cut her off. Sometimes your mom is jealous of you.
Hi people, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're coming across my channel for the very first time, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and I hope we are all doing fine. So in our today's conversation is about this interesting topic, why you decided to cut your mom off. Well, a lot of people shared their experience as well as the reason why they decided to cut their mom off. Some parents are so annoying. So for people's peace of mind, they decided to cut them off. So I will play the videos. At the end of the videos, I will leave my own comment. Please don't go away.
If you have to cut your mom off, cut her off. Sometimes your mom is jealous of you. And as much as she does not want to admit it, and she probably never will, you can sense it. Like your intentions with her are so pure. But she always thinks of you in a negative light. Like when it comes to you, it's always something negative that she has to say about you. Never what you intend to be to her, which is a good person. She always twists it to make it like you're this negative person. Or she's always complaining. She doesn't want you to have fun if she is not having fun. It's like your competition to her. It's like she can't process the fact that she's getting older and you are growing into a woman. And you probably have more confidence than she did at that age. You want to make her proud and you never can. Nothing you ever do is good enough for her. This will stunt your growth. This will stunt your confidence. This will make you think less of yourself because your mom, the person that birthed you, thinks less of you. Cut her off.
As to why I cut my mother off over 10 years ago. I did part 1 earlier today, and this is the follow-up. You guys, there's just way too much from my childhood up to now that my mother has done to me. Horrible abuse, violence, physical, verbal, emotional, psychological, financial. She took a lot of money from me. I'll give you an example. In high school, I was working 2 jobs by my senior year. Every week that I got paid from both my jobs, she would take the entire paycheck to pay all the bills in the house. But she refused to work. She was lazy, wanted to lay around, and she was sleeping. You know, her second husband, the man that molested me, he was locked up in prison at the time. So she didn't want to work because he was a drug dealer. So he had spoiled her and everything. And, you know, she was bougie. She was a gold digger. So she was accustomed to not working. So by the time we lost everything, our house and everything, money, we moved down south. He goes back to prison. She's fucking all types of men for money. And, you know, she fucked the neighborhood mechanic so that he could fix our car, shit like that. But the abuse continued even when I escaped after high school, college. When I had my daughter, it continued there. She tried to control my daughter. When I would not allow her to control me, here come the fake prank phone calls to Child Protective Services. You know, it's just been one fucking thing after the next. And I was just giving her chance after chance, even if I felt I was in the wrong. And I'm not perfect, but I knew she was wrong. But I still would try to patch things up with her over and over and over again. My mother, just all she does is repeat the dysfunction, and I had enough. I come to understand and accept that she is who she is. She's never going to change. Her behavior has actually gotten worse over the years. It's like a fucking hamster running on a hamster wheel, and I just decided to get off the hamster wheel. She can keep running on that hamster wheel for all I fucking care. Last year, she had me served with a restraining order and it got thrown out. She's still trying to stalk me and control my life as we speak. I'm 46 fucking years old. This woman is obsessed with me. She's pissed off that I became successful and a better mother. I didn't raise my daughter. My daughter's going to college now. Mad that I succeeded, beat the odds, everything. And now I have a fan base telling my childhood story and she doesn't like it. Now I want y'all to stay tuned because I'm going to talk about my daddy and why I cut my dad off 10 years ago.
So cutting off an immediate family member, and that immediate family member being one of your parents, is so foreign to people. So I recently had to cut off my mother just because of the continuous disrespect that I was getting. And a lot of what the older generation fails to realize is that we don't have to take the disrespect. We're not just going to, oh, that's just the way she is. Let her be, just don't argue. No, ma'am, I'm going to argue. I'm going to get out of my harmonious, peaceful mood just to present you with some negativity that you've just been wanting out of me. And so for the longest, I've just been doing this. And then all of a sudden, one point leads to a big point, which makes you think about all of the recent past traumatic events that have happened between you two. And then you just decide, hey, no, you know what? I'm in a good place. I'm not fixing to take this disrespect and this hateful behavior of someone who doesn't want to apologize for their wrongdoing and thinks just so confidently that they have done nothing wrong. And, my other family members are like, so you're just not going to talk to her for the rest of your life? Ma'am, that's the plan. Unless she wants to fix her attitude, unless something else wants to happen to where we can maintain this mother-son family relationship, then yeah, I'm not. Because why do you have to keep on continuously being disrespected by a family member just because you only have one mom, you only have one dad? Well, what about you only have this one particular son, this one particular daughter? You may have multiple kids, but you only have that one unique person in each of those individual kids. And the thing is, they try to throw it in your face being like, but I've helped you your whole life. I've given you this, I've given you that, I've done this. Ma'am, parents, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to raise a kid. The kid doesn't have any amount of income coming in. This kid didn't choose to be brought into this world. I didn't choose to be brought into this world. I expected you guys, the world expected you guys to help us become this person. So, in matter of fact, I don't owe you anything. And I'm tired of parents coming at me like, oh my God, but she did this so much for you. Okay, and the continuous disrespect, I'm just supposed to take it because there's, they did all this stuff because they're supposed to. They're parents. They're called parents for a reason.
Oh, you want to know what the woman that gave birth to me did to me? Let me tell you. I've been waiting to air this bitch out. I'm just gonna insert every possible trigger warning. Like, this is a lot. My mother single-handedly caused me to develop an eating disorder at the ripe age of 6 years old. She used to beat me until I ate all of my food. She didn't finally take me to the hospital until it got to the point to where she would beat me and I still wouldn't eat the food. Like, I stopped giving a fuck. And then she finally took me to the hospital. To this day, almost 20 years later, I still have a complicated relationship with food. When I was 7 years old and my mother was getting remarried and I decided to tell some of my friends because I was excited about my mom getting married, she found out, beat the living shit out of me, and threw me out of the house at the ripe age of 7. For some reason, when I was 9 years old, my mother had this sudden fear that I was gonna end up pregnant at 9. So she would show me these horrifying, disgusting videos of people that were dying of AIDS in hospitals and be like, that's what's gonna happen to you if you decide to have sex. And I was 9. And because of this irrational fear, when there was a day when I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade, she couldn't find me when she came to pick me up from school. And she accused me of doing things in a bathroom with 3 other boys. 9. Not even in the double digits yet. There's this one time when I was in 8th grade, I woke up in the morning to get ready for school, and I guess I woke up late or whatever, so my mom woke me up with a belt, beat me. That was the first thing that I got that morning. But I also happened to have like an absolutely horrible headache, and when I tried to tell my mother about it, she didn't give a fuck and told me to get dressed and get ready for school. I go to school, and I'm crying in first period, so much so that my teacher writes me a note and sends me to the nurse, and the nurse sends me home because I have a fever of 102. And my mother, when she picked me up, had the audacity to say, well, I didn't know you were feeling bad like that, bitch! When I was 15 and started self-harming, my mother tried to beat and pray the depression out of me, saying that I had a devil inside of me or some fucking shit. When I was 16 and my mother found out that I had a boyfriend, she decided that she couldn't trust me in my room anymore and that I had lost my bed privileges, and so she made me sleep on the floor in the living room for a month. And this was in December, so I was just sick all the time. It was horrible. When I was 17 and was so depressed with the life that I was living and told my mother that I wanted to unalive myself, she handed me a knife and told me to go do it. When I was 18 and got SA'd and told my mother about it, she beat me half to death, threw me out of the house for about 5 days, and then when she finally let me back in the house, she forced me to sit there with her, my rapist, and his parents while all 4 of them tried to tell me that I was a liar and didn't know what I was talking about. And then she brought me back home, beat me again, and when I tried to get her off of me, she called the police and told them that I tried to assault her, and they arrested me. That shit's still on my record. And let's not forget when I was 22 and called her because my fiance had cheated on me for the 3rd time and I was in absolute tears, and she told me to give him another chance because she could tell how much he loved me. And that's not even a 4th of the shit that she's done. Yeah, fuck her. I don't speak to her. Fuck her.
I went completely no contact with my mother when I was 22 years old, and I never budged on it, not for over 25 years. I get a lot of people reaching out to me asking me for ways to explain to the other family members why they need to go no contact. And people think that because I'm really good with words that somehow I'm going to be able to say it in a way that it's going to get people to stop going, but she's your mother. And I just want to be clear that there is no way that you're going to be able to explain this to people who don't want to understand. Like, my mother was heinous, and everyone knew what she did, and everyone knew who she was, and that she would be abusing me again. And even then they would say, but just come over for a holiday or send her a Mother's Day card. I believe there's a lot of reasons why people do this, mainly because I think people fear having other people set boundaries boundaries with them, or that they don't want to have to self-reflect and actually take action against their own family. Going no contact is exceptionally hard no matter how justified it is. I don't think it should be taken lightly. And I think you should just be prepared to not be supported and to do it anyways. They don't need to understand for it to be healthy for you. Don't be nice.
Well, I would really love to hear your opinion on this issue. Kindly share your experience or your thoughts in the comment section below. Because if you are going to cut your parents off from having access to you for whatever number of reasons, understand that it's going to be very hard. Because you have to analyze off part in order for you to even succeed with it. You have to analyze the part that of your dreams of your parents being there for your wedding or important events such as graduation. Some parents can be very toxic. So for your peace of mind, you cut them off. Yes, people don't understand because they don't have toxic mothers. No one can imagine the trauma people go through because of toxic mothers. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. I would really love to hear from you. Kindly subscribe. See you in the next video. Stay safe.